Employees in a healthy work environment believe that their managers trust them to do their jobs well. Team members value autonomy, which can boost morale and encourage innovative thinking. Micromanagement has the opposite effect. If you leave it unresolved, it can reduce productivity and increase turnover. If you think your employees are being micromanaged, now is the time to get in there. Help your managers deploy a more productive leadership style that can improve company culture and increase job satisfaction, along with motivating and inspiring your teams to do their best work. So what exactly is micromanagement anyway? There is no hard and fast definition of micromanagement, but it is a management style that involves monitoring everything employees do super closely, like really closely. Micromanagers are overly invested in the details of each project. Instead, micromanagers are overly invested in the details of each project. Instead of focusing on the big picture, they require frequent reports and give their opinions or even their demands at every step. They do this as a way to control their employees. Micromanagers just straight up lack trust and confidence in their teams. They think that by monitoring and chiming in on each task and every step, they can influence the outcome and have their fingerprints on the project. How do employees react to micromanagement? What do you think? Micromanagement might, I emphasize might, increase employee output in the short term, but it's discouraging and disempowering for the team. If your manager is going to make all the decisions to be involved in everything, why not just have them do it themselves? This type of management is detrimental to any employee's productivity, growth and development, as well as their mental health. People who look up to and admire their leaders might start to experience anxiety and self-doubt, and they may start to internalize the manager's distrust. Employees who are confident in their abilities are more likely to get irritated and frustrated by a micromanager. They'll eventually realize that the manager will never value their expertise or welcome their ideas, and they'll either leave or become aloof, uninspired, and unmotivated. You do not want this to happen. How do you spot micromanagement? Easy. Follow these steps to see if your employees are being micromanaged. 1. Send out anonymous employee surveys. An anonymous survey allows employees to express their real, raw, unfiltered feelings about their managers. Make sure to ask open-ended questions like, do you believe your manager is receptive to the ideas and insights of your team? Is your manager giving you constructive feedback? Is your leader abusing their authority? Do you feel comfortable sharing your thoughts with your leader? Is your manager's decision-making process explained to you? Is your manager clear about the company's objectives? Is the communication style of your manager effective? Next step is pay attention to your manager and employees. Keep an eye on how your manager treats their team members. You have a manager who uses their leadership effectively if they encourage open communication and group brainstorming. If your manager prevents the free flow of ideas and is too concerned with minor details, they're micromanaging. Employees' reactions can also provide information. Is meaningful eye contact happening? When the manager enters a room, does the conversation just stop altogether? These are all signs of micromanagement. Next step is pay attention to your manager's reports. Check out the reporting habits of each manager. You might be dealing with a micromanager if they create an unusually high volume of performance reviews, especially if most of the feedback is critical or just straight negative. Don't get me wrong, employee reviews and feedback is useful on a regular basis, but constant reporting without positive reinforcement is a guaranteed way to reduce productivity. So next step, determine whether or not employees are making progress. If your employees aren't growing and developing, it's likely that their manager is to blame. When people work for a micromanager, it can be difficult for them to take risks and learn new skills. Micromanagers tend to knowledge hoard and keep information to themselves in order to maintain control over specific projects or responsibilities. They usually like to lead from the front, and they never like the focus to be beyond their team members. A manager encourages employee growth in a healthy work environment, whether they know it or not. They serve as a mentor to their teams. Good managers encourage and help their employees in reaching their full potential in every way they can. Next step, keep an eye out for new ideas. If your company's innovation is stagnant, pay attention to how your manager responds to new ideas. Are they responsive or do they dismiss new team ideas? Micromanagers tend to stifle innovation. They're rarely open to new ideas or perspectives unless it's theirs or they claim it to be theirs. A micromanager's constant supervision can also stifle creativity. Some of the best ideas can come from employees who have time to sit and consider all the options. Managers are farther from the front line and have missing context. Some of the best ideas come from direct contact and interactions with users and our products. How can you address and avoid micromanagement at work? Great question. If you notice these signs of micromanagement, take action right away. Set up a meeting with that manager in question and tell them what you've been seeing and hearing. It's useful to highlight specific instances of micromanagement. Then you can talk about how to improve the work environment. Remember to be specific. You don't want to get into this he said, she said discussion. It's reasonable to anticipate some resistance to this chat, especially if the manager thrives on control. If the person's behavior is motivated by a genuine desire to serve the team, they might be more open to learning on how to stop micromanaging. Whatever the motivation, it's important to emphasize that the manager's role is to support the company's long-term goals. They don't need to obsess over minor details. Remind them that their role is to provide support, guidance, and leadership to their team. There are many advantages of eliminating micromanagement at work. Micromanagement can cause employees to feel a loss of autonomy at work, and everyone wins when teams can create more freedom and less oversight. Let's go over some of those advantages. Increased employee retention. Everyone wants to feel appreciated. Treating employees well and listening to their ideas can help them feel more valued at work. Employees are more likely to be loyal to your company if they admire and respect their leaders. Improved morale and culture. Employees who have a sense of control are more satisfied with their jobs. This positive energy can spread throughout the company and create an upbeat atmosphere. Increased output. Employees have more time to be productive when their managers don't require constant progress reports. This also gives managers more time to focus on long-term goals and team development. How can you avoid becoming a micromanager? If you see signs of micromanagement in your company, act quickly to eliminate it. Change begins with your managers. Work with them to create a more positive and productive work environment. And at the very least, each manager should think about the following. Employees should be trusted. Great managers communicate goals and responsibilities, then take a step back. There's no need to monitor employees' every move as long as they're completing their deliveries on task. If productivity falls, managers can talk to employees about their expectations and ask for feedback. Provide constructive feedback. Managers should provide a mix of positive and critical feedback. Employees learn from constructive criticism, but praise makes them feel valued and appreciated. Provide opportunities for learning. Employees who have the opportunity to learn new skills are better able to support your company's goals and objectives. Managers can help by organizing training sessions, promoting professional development courses, and even delegating new tasks. Share accountability for company objectives. Transparent, company-wide communication reduces the burden on your managers, and it also eliminates the need for micromanagement. Hold regular meetings to talk about company goals and empower employees at all levels of the company to help achieve those goals. Allow employees to advance. Create a work structure that allows employees at all levels to take on more responsibility. When authority is distributed throughout the workplace, one manager does not have excessive control. Succession planning, anyone? You can check out my video on that also. And finally, make basic rules. A workplace with a lot of rules is a breeding ground for micromanagement. Instead, stick to a simple set of rules that are easy to understand. This gives employees the space and autonomy they need to be responsible and innovative. What steps can you take to avoid hiring a micromanager? The interview process is ideal for identifying and eliminating potential micromanagers. When interviewing candidates for management positions, ask behavioral questions like, could you please describe your management style? It's an easy one. How do you prefer to provide feedback to your employees? How do you encourage employee growth? Make note of the responses. If the candidate shows a desire to support and guide employees, they may be a good fit. If they have an authoritative demeanor, have a history of reprimanding employees, or have a strong emphasis on correcting errors, those are all telltale signs of micromanagement. Run for the hills. Do not hire them. What are characteristics of a micromanager? Here we go. These are the following characteristics of a micromanager. They're incapable of delegating. Instead of delegating work to employees based on their qualifications and talents, micromanagers frequently keep high-level tasks to themselves. Because of that, they may be overworked, stressed, or unable to meet deadlines on time. They're more concerned with an employee's minor mistakes than with their accomplishments. You may notice that your manager's team lacks confidence and self-motivation as a result of a lack of praise. Employee ideas are rarely implemented. Micromanagers may avoid soliciting feedback, and if they do, the suggestions are ignored. This has the potential to stifle productivity and innovation. Effective managers allow employees to work on their projects and come up with their own creative ideas. I hate this one, but they demand to be copied on every email. I hate them all. This behavior shows that the manager is not confident in their employee's ability to complete the task. Plain and simple. So hopefully you don't display any of those characteristics, and you now have some tools on how to address a micromanager situation. The best way to address it is to hire well to start with, but that's not always going to work out. Sometimes you'll inherit the team. So if you see this behavior, nip it in the bud before it creates any toxicity on your team. If you liked this video, check out my other video on the 6 signs of fake leadership. You'll find some interesting stuff in there related to micromanagement. You can check it out here. And as always, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. It'd help me out a ton. And if you want, light up that notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. With that being said, thanks so much. Take care, and I'll see you next time.